Yeah, we all get this big dream about Salon, the country where we believe, say, we will feed we save, we will take care of we save, not go be, not go depend on waiting we get from donors. We all get this dream. That is how we get this dream some years ago, and this dream still lay on. We still believe, say, as a nation, we can feed we save. And one of the biggest after the free quality education, one of the biggest and ambitious projects of this government, now feed salon, and it's something that most Sierra Leoneans they talk about now. Anywhere you go, now schools, communities, homes, it's about feed salon. How do we feed ourselves? And the man will get that responsibility there for feed we, for ensure say we feed we serve. After the president, now the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, and we all as well, we all as people. Dr. Musa, Kpaka, now the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, there with me in the studios this morning. Good morning, sir, and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Bai, and thank you for bringing me Kanaya.
The pleasure having you.
Thank you.
How you feel like for get that responsibility there, for implementing president in projects for feed salon?
Well, any kind of work where you do for your country, not big work, but for get this one, when a president out of all the people them at this country say you can take this responsibility. Yeah, we're not a small responsibility. We're not responsibility where they touch all man. A big one, a solemn one, and they taken seriously. Now that make me a minister of the work plenty. No other way, no they pass for work for this country.
So, how far we dey with President Bio in ambition, in plan for feed salon?
We don't go far. La remind people them, was I we start just like how you start the segment, where the president take over on his second term. At the time he say we for feed we serve. For say we in a world where if they chop where would they eat. Now other people then they sell them give it means they we're not truly independent. Because when COVID come, people then say they sell chop, then begin block. So that means even if you get the money for buy the chop, them go come, that situation they go come, where you go find yourself in a bind. You want for buy it and say they need to sell. That means you're not truly independent. And for we, it just can't be say God bless we with all the endowments then for let we able to produce. Then same thing there. We want for buy outside for so we will produce an aya. So the president be make feed salon the flagship. And the objectives can be very simple. One, now for being we stop for import the basic staples in them. Rice, chicken, egg, basic thing they normal. Two, for we also boost we export. With mines and the main thing they will export and they make the bulk part of the export. But agriculture, when you look at the economy, provide a huge opportunity. And I think in and fishery sometimes a second or third export. So the idea has been for boost down the back. For create jobs for young man and woman them. And be a big one. We get 500,000 jobs. Agriculture now a place down there. For increase the income for farmer them across the country, right? So then are some of the goal and the way this with the feed salon strategy. And the first two now for boost the economy as well. Because if you stop for import, plenty, it save forex where you get. And then if you export plenty, you get new forex. That forex they make you economy or your currency strong. We say salon if the dollar price good, the economy they boost because we're able to do plenty in them. So then that be the goal them. We don't do plenty across them goal then day. One, on for stop importation. For the past 2-3 years now, we don't see a steady decline. In rest, we don't see 15% drop in importation
Of rice.
We don't see the past 2-3 years consistently. First now, the first 2023 to 24, now being 7%, now 9%. And then in terms of value, now about $15 million now we pull on the amount of money what would they take for buy rest in the country. Not take them from we do BFP for the longest time. Then they do school feeding at this country. Now rest then they bring, whether they supply them or buy them. Then reports now they're right. This year, because with direct intervention, 30% of waiting then they feed now the schools then now local rest. I just come out Cambia. They will get a food reserve through the help of the World Bank funded project FSRP. 10,000 bags of rest we will buy from the local communities that side. Then at Cambia no more, we get some back na Kenema. We get some back with the BFP store. When are we on direct intervention through SLPMC? All anything they make sure say we don't reduce the importation, the forex value where they go for buy rest don't reduce, and the price of rest back, both imported and local, don't come down. You bring can to Yabas business back, when we been take over. The first trip I make na been put local because Yabas crisis has been there.
Yeah.
Somebody tell me say put local na there and they produce boku onion, so I go there. I go engage the stakeholder them. Luckily for me, or for we as a country, the foundation with the power be don't lay some private sector that be don't start for engage in this business. So I go there and meet them. That year they then just do 5-hectare pilots. We encourage them. We encourage and say, oh no. Then if they see good sign, then expand, and then we find smallholder farmer then for pair them with them. This is not PC and Sons we talk about. They like today, then get about 75 hectares when they do twice, and 75 hectares per year, but it's not too small business, so now plenty. They do that, they 210 per year. Tay IFC come put $12 million per then. Now we have plenty, it cheaper the imported one. Same thing to eggs. So in terms of how far we don't go, the basic we track the number them, but then goes the whole get, and we see the direction. We get plenty more for do. Because agriculture or food, if you plant this year, you get boku. Then you go lay down sleep, say next year you need to plant. You be hungry, you go back square one. Because they eat always eat it. Yeah, you eat all, and they hungry again tomorrow. And so for me, as I did know, I did check their number. All time every year, I want to make sure say what you do the past year, for doing more and better.
What's in a government intervention, you know, in terms of say finance, now the agriculture sector? I know there are projects within the ministry. You talk about like the Yabas farm now put local, IFC provide funding for that to private sector as well. But what's in a government direct investment in the feed salon project?
All the money we at the talk about. So you get some I know go count the NGO one about go candy. But all the money at the talk about them project money and government money. Government they get money through a lot of different ways. There's money where they can through the consolidated fund, we collect tax, we put on, we pay. There's money where they can because we get grants and loans for the one. Now, the feed salon program, one more thing I have to say, they will count on the money back why important for Freeman that way is we know say government will play a big role, the environment, the enabling environment for support farmer them, for encourage people them. But we know saying a private sector, now the only sustainable way where you go get private sector like PC and Sons then, so then say they take that bold step for puts them money there. Because government don't create the environment and we have link there with smallholder farmer that would give them so then get outgrower scheme. Then they do that every year because they make profits. Me no need for worry now as Minister of Agriculture. All what I need for do is any policy there for help them. Same way so if we get down there with rest back, they work very hard for invite private sector then for come. Poultry sector, right? So we know say the private sector are big player because it's sustainable, then go do them faster, bigger, and the new technology the way they come, right? And so government money, always waiting government gets where they put, where they support the vulnerable smallholder farmers, right? Then we they create the environment and they so that private sector will thrive. Where President Bill make feed salon the program, we jump with budget from 2.3 to 7%. Execution rates back jump, right? But all them projects them we can meet. We try for make sure say we change them focus for response. So whether an FSRP program, whether the World Bank funded program, whether an African Development Bank program where they do rice cluster them, whether not the regional rice value chain program, when ISDB and Badia they fund. These are all things that we squarely they target the goals that we don't set. So we could talk about government money. We use it in the most impactful, effective way for encourage smallholder farmer them and meet then the one they need. But the private sector, now the key side and they will want for unlock the space. Will they build bridges? Will they make roads so that when the private sector come, then go able to that will they do with government money for support the future.
So wait to make I ask that now that when you look at budgetary allocation to the ministries, departments and agencies, a lot of institutions they complain about late receive the money are late, and agriculture naturally is seasonal and timely. If you miss the time for provide the funds and support to the farmers, then the production will be affected. So is it that you get enough money from the consolidated revenue from the Ministry of Finance for implement this project with government support?
Well, nobody get enough money from government. That I just put them straight up. But waiting we they get, as I say, is now one way we they use them for attract private sector, for support the vulnerable. This year, for example, we launched a big campaign. Say we want let people across the country grow rest in our inland valley swamp because we want to avoid the slash and burn across the country. We approached government, we budget and give it this year. The amounts we'll put for that and then give it and very early on. In fact, the money come faster past donor money. We can say no more government money, but we put a lot of pressure this year. Say the money for that we inland valley swamp money because now trigger for we don't tell partner them and it's very useful. So much so that we even able to support now most districts, paramount chief them if you get 5 hectares, would they make you help you do swamp. We get that kind of money there. But now small money to be honest compared to waiting we need for do. I know consider and say no, we don't get all the money. But because partly also, even though we need plenty money for do thing that we government will give, we not to get all, but the goal now how we go able to trigger and create the environment so that big private sector person go can say me now rest me la for can set up now this country. And then I go get outgrower scheme where then farmer then the grow rest, I buy them from them, I mill, I sell, I make money. You see in that space they beaucoup governments have not did it. Now just for make the policy and I done the sustainability. Right? As I go we get beaucoup we need for make them road them, government need for we need for build and store them, we need for provide maybe insurance for farmer that hold on pilot.
Yeah.
We need for government need for come up for put
Yeah, you talk about insurance. I actually will ask about that. Insurance to the agriculture sector for the risk. Maybe somebody say, okay, I want to invest in this sector, but what's not the insurance that if there is a problem, I will go back and not lose everything. I will get returns and say, okay, let's start all over again. What's in the financial support, infrastructure, so people now the private sector we will invest in the sector?
Well, then an excellent question, and I think part of the worry every once in a while where I can get the opportunity for engage with the president is say we don't talk say feed salon, and every side is go now. People then they send me text message say they don't start this farm business here. All side. And so man when they can and then they start small now big then they start. And then agriculture business if you want to do one find a serious money, a serious capital. And if you do then you broke down along the way, you go discourage, you know go come back.
Yeah.
So we biggest challenge now the president don't make this pronouncement, people that don't answer this call. Now how we able to support them. Insurance. For the first time at this country last year, we launched a weather index insurance. We will pilot now about 4 districts. Where for if there's too much rain or too little rain across above a certain threshold, you get a payout. That's one way. For make sure say if you make that your investment day, then flood income, you know go lost all thing, and you go you go pay premium where you go cover the cost where you put into this, or you anticipated benefits where you see they get, depending on the premium where you pay. With the pilot and I got for bring down the wholesale, I think saying one of the things that the government for take on, they bring a policy, and then we'll go put plenty with it for them, especially for them smallholder farmer them because now then they get for trigger their own investment because as I say, if big private sector come, they say they want for meal or they want for process, they want for people, then they go inside, they produce. They're not going to do all things at the value chain, you put people in there. So that's important. So we don't pilot down there. I go for bring down the this year, before the year they done, we go can go in a cabinet, and then by we budget what they do. Next year we will try for put on there so that it becomes the thing where we will support people them. But we also get this year for the past 2 years, $10 million while they work with the bank governor for support economic growth in the country, where them put as a credit facility. We sure some people they able to take 500,000, 1 million, 10% interest rate. At the time where the governor puts this, that 10 day now being, I think interest rate be don't go to 37%. We say 10% interest rate. Then you get 90 days grace period, 36 months maturity. Then a big thing. We also get Apex Bank. When are then small community, then they get small loan. They take, I don't know, $100, $50, all of that. So big gap there. You get somebody who will get 1 million or 500,000, somebody with this. So for me, the next thing what they do, now for how we'll fill this gap, and we work very hard for set up either an agriculture fund or a bank. We go will meet then gap here what they will get right now at the system for support people. Then we don't take this with two hand and one for one, and the risk then they like I don't talk anymore. So financing, insurance, and training. Because some people then where they go back by agriculture very technical. They know how. Yesterday my chief agriculture officer they teach me say we didn't feel a host as the man say in rest na 4 tons per hectare. As I say, you sure? I begin teach me, you say now 4 elements then they for know how the yield get for day. And then as you see how you grow, you go maneuver. Most people don't have it down there. So we investment in the people then that technical expertise where if you want to do cashew farming, if you want to do fish farming, if you want to do aquaculture, a day so they go guide you. Because if you throw yourself into a number, you go fail, get the kind of money and you go discourage. So now that's what they do for encourage people that way they come in, for provider insurance for them. For say if you do this, government will support you for make you succeed.
Again, what's in the incentive? I watched the presidents, they talked to the diaspora community a few days ago in the US, and they asked them for come back home. There are opportunities for invest in agriculture, social services, and other things. But what's in the incentive for the private sector? If somebody in the diaspora want bring things inside, do they have, tax waivers? Do they have tax breaks? Say, go pay for this and this for encourage investments in the sector. What's in the incentive?
The diaspora are a very important part of we Sierra Leonean development. Myself been did this August where they talk for try for encouraging for Canada agriculture sector, and actually the diaspora where they come, most of them, the people who organize the conference tell me say 80 to 60%, 60 to 80% of what they want for doing agriculture, and they ask the same question. And we believe say then go come for be co-architects, not to for send money no more. Diaspora they spend for we over 25% of we budget. The money we they send. Annual budget, remittance. It passed 25% of we budget. Imagine that. That's a lot of money, right? Actually GDP. Lots of money within they send annually. And so the incentive that we don't talk for agriculture, every tax, any agricultural equipment, where you set up a business in agriculture, we get specific tax waiver then where they for make sure so you succeed. But apart from that, the commitment of the president and myself Nayana, where you come, with the hold your hand, follow you take until you succeed at the goal. Plenty things we'll talk about tax, this and that, but plenty things in the way we can now, if you don't take, kind of this country, where you go need somebody then for help you. And we, at the ministry, me as minister, I go work with you for make sure so where you come, the sole goal now for let you succeed. Because if you succeed, we self, not to you no more, the country they succeed, they feel a critical gap and they bring resources. The president writes for invite diaspora and they spend well over, I think the last time I checked, close to 100 and something million where they come in annually. Where if we put down a really important for development and agriculture now one space. And agriculture then keep perceive and say a risky, but the reward back very high. The reward really, really high. Part of what you want to do with this SPV what they talk about, so the incentive that they win a fiscal thing and what I don't talk about, but also the kind of loan that will come, say with a build certain infrastructure. say storage or even irrigation scheme, you can't say we don't give just anybody. If you say you get money, you want to can run down there. So don't be a rice million across. You want to can run down there. You bring your money. Government partner with you in an equity way. So the government are with your equity. This yourself come in an SPV manner. Now then kind of thing they will want for the look for the do which we own Sierra Leonean diaspora where they come for can develop this country. Then incentive then then program then where then go come. If you're serious, you want to do this, we go work with you. The president will say this name flagship. Me say another joke about him and me say me say if they under pressure, where people then can send them to me say when I come work with that man, we will do everything possible for make you succeed.
So the area of providing support with the banks. Most times, I recall I talked to somebody in the financial sector the other time. It's the same thing about the Bank of Salon get this money and they provide support. How do we get the commercial banks as well? Forget agri financing. To say directly we provide these loans and at this percentage as interest rates, so people where they bank with them, if they're into agriculture, they can go and or people they do value addition safe.
That's an excellent point you make. Agriculture they contribute well over 40% to the GDP, and commercial bank. If you know a commercial bank, anything they support the GDP like. But the banking sector, they lend to agriculture less than 1%. And this is not the thing where me and bank governor they work on. The way I say we get, so there's a policy what they bring. This policy will create that platform. And series of things and they will look at. Obviously, the Bank of Australia independent, and so they not go set banking regulation no more just because of one sector, the sector them boku. But for agriculture, the other thing we they back. Not to say no more they learn little. Now that the timing, not the work. Waiting bank then used to, commercial bank then. Now that quick, take money, 30 days, can't pay somebody they buy and sell. You take the money, pay the interest rate, you do an all government treasury bills. They are the two-sided and so the real actual investment where they happen, they're not agree for put money because they see and too risky. Waiting we they do, and through the EU, when they launch this very soon, the EU will work with them for set up a pilot where we don't identify a number of commercial banks them for say, look, when they give them money, when I create agriculture desk, when I invest for the sector, the space, and then when they bring people into let them can loan, and the loan the way we do on 50%. If you get business plan when $100,000, EU they give 50,000 free, the 50,000 you can't take them from a bank at a reasonable interest rate, and we they train them for do that and they. So we they but they laws them for make sure say the time where they take the maturation of agriculture loan we make them consistent and reasonable for true commercial bank. We they push down through this policy we made the bank government they work on the interest rate. Interest rates for farmers at this level. Really, most standard practice, most across the world actually, farmers are always, especially where you start at the base, low base, where they get favorable interest rate past the normal market rate. We for push down so the maturation, the length, and then the interest rates. Now policy and another would push, but if they contribute 40% to GDP, they get less than 1%. They talk to the governor how we able to create incentive for say. Now either stick or carrots. So obviously we're in conversation with them and they're independent. But can we say if anybody lend more than 5%, any commercial bank lend more than 5% to the sector, would they give them reward?
Yeah, get incentive.
Yeah, or we say policy now every bank where they can't register now you for lend more than 5%. If you not one, two things will happen. Those are the conversations that are ongoing for really force the issue, I should say. Most people don't like that because they're in a market economy for like the team make, but somewhere then here we need to be intentional and no way they pass for whole land and no one. So now that's the insurance and this finance. I mean, two last big policy things and they push before the year the end, and we work very well. We get a draft to the work with the governor and team and Ministry of Finance for push down there.
With policies implementation, planting seasons don't come and pass. The importation rates don't reduce. There's this big news about local farmers providing rice for the WFP, the school feeding project. Are we feeding ourselves presently with the Feed Salon project? You as a minister, you surely believe, say, with the feed we serve right now, with what we produce?
The data what I get and why they go around the country, they tell me say up to 72% of the rest where we need for make we self-sufficient with the producer now. The problem we'll get, and we will work very hard for solve this, now that we know the CM now the markets and then big ton there. And people think he ask that question, a fair question. But where are they go around? Yesterday, this is supposed to be the lean season. I just come on a tour. I've been on Kolili, Bombali, Falaba, Kwenadugu. People didn't get rest. Right now, we store a reservoir. They said 10,000 bags of local rice people then produce. Some village, the way they go, they get rest. Then they buy rest. So maybe there's a small period. And when you go Cambia, the rest where they still come out Cambia, they go and get now and store them. So indeed, they're anecdotal thing where you go see, and the data people don't give me, where we don't rigorously check. It shows say with a 72% self-sufficient in rest. The small gap we dey, now that one way we want for make sure say we process and maybe now the private sector that they come so that we will begin to see now the cities. And we work with some private sector, and by God power, maybe early next year, we will begin to see branded. We get some, but not all over the place. All over the place. We get Mountain Lion, we get Manyande Group. I don't see the all, and they bring them packaging them to me, and tell me Musa then rest then they. But I know it's in people that mean when they say they want for see and baby then
exactly. Now the markets are going
yeah, they want for see them. But by the way then they sell them by cup then small. They're not no more then get like where CTC get and store them and that not they but
they come out as very expensive because they are healthy. A lot of people they go for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. In fact, the reason why we rest the commoner they go give too much and say very helpful for diabetic patient and that they didn't want, right? So part of that data, yes, people then they perceive and say healthy in a local rest is fresh. To be honest, I travel before me I be minister, we get the opportunity for travel with the president for go Vietnam. We go do partly we look at aquaculture and some rest, how we're able to see what's in they do rest farming, see the whole process. And the people they tell me they get rest when they produce, because every year then they produce agriculture you need for produce, but then get them at then stores and then a 4 year, 5 year, 8 year old rest them. Where the demand they can as soon as they release. So for we, the rest of what they cannot to new rest or say they don't grow and this year they don't process and send them to the old rest and where they come. So we own rest. We believe say healthier, a tastier, a good for we. And so the price, yes, people then they pay that premium. The other reason, and we work on this, now that we yield them where we get right now, need for increase dramatically so that we will be competitive. So now the issue down there we work on right now.
You mean producing more?
Producing more, but when they produce, let the price be competitive to the imported rice where they come.
But then if we produce more and there is access to markets, and
supply and
processing, supply and demand, naturally it will handle.
Yes, exactly.
So what's in the fundamental challenge now? Is it processing and access to markets? Because the point you're making is we're producing and we don't produce the rest day, but now the markets we still they go for the import.
Now the markets are the big ton there.
Yeah, exactly.
The market, but if you go to them village and rest day. Yeah. But the points are exactly that. Access to market is an issue because some side and the way they grow, where they produce rest. Some side and the way I can go, I wonder, wow, you don't produce this. Like yesterday, at Timap, na farm, when a 1,000 acre rest farm, the measure with drone with Timap day. The road for enter inside you remember big truck for Canada, how this go come out. I get for pull this, I get for process this, I get for harvest this. Then are the issue then, but I'm not too worried because then a part of transformation. We start that big push, let people then get into the thing and begin produce. Then here we'll move to that next stage. I go harvest them, I go process them, I go push them to the market. You know the what some people don't know, or something we don't appreciate it enough is what we want for do we say we want to do in 5 years, and I think we they take 10, 15, 20 years on side. We're very ambitious. We very much clearly know that by the time we fix the production system, we go to the processing and then the marketing, make them road, then make them bridge, then make them store. Then it takes time. But we, because of the urgency of time, because of because Shalom people they know one wait. Shalom people believe say we able to do.
We want it.
We want it. We don't commit we self, and we work very hard for Musa will stop in that process there.
Yes. So I wonder we look at the area of helping farmers directly, giving them the support. I read this survey, agriculture survey statistics, and Salon and the government do the 2024 survey, and they talk about farmers across all 5 regions reported no major environmental concerns in the past 12 months, but crops, pest, disease, along with high food prices are most frequently reported shocks affecting farmers. Climate change, environmental issues. The last time I see the other year, we see heavy rains affect farmers in Cambia and other part in the north. Waiting at the direct support. There was a time in this country where we see tractors then come and they give farmers then tractors. But again, reports come out and say now only the elites and people away politically exposed been the benefit from that day. There's this issue of providing, fertilizers as well to farmers. Waiting at the direct support with the ministry they give to farmers, them not only those in large-scale farming, but even communities. There, Musa, you get CBOs and all of that.
Well, in fact, a lot of the support we ministry they give now to smallholder farmers, and then communities them. Now, the way we don't structure, take rest. Just take rest for example, and this go able tie in some of the issue them. We get service provider and we private sector people then we been take up then tractor then we been come. We government been procure and then partner with government say we they take them run them for you and pay overtime and provide the service to smallholder farmers. We get under them. We get input dealer them when then they bring fertilizer, pesticides, all that in it. We get the seed sector, right? So where government say this year, I think this year we do about 30,000 or 25,000 hectares of rice. Now we support both government and projects them. Where government say they do that and they, for the one and then big bully land then, that there are districts there where they say you know the service provider, GIWI with the work with we district agriculture officer, the farmer federation coordinator with it, and maybe some local stakeholder, the paramount chief say, giving names of people that would farm now, yeah, small people then, local people them, say okay, we don't say yeah, we support 700 farmer them because 20,000 hectares is small, and then government give the money for let that support they go. That's so the program design. Of course, you go tell me say there's capture along the way. Some people then say not go reach. Not they possible. That's along with it. But the intention, and we can follow through. And most times, what they find is then small farmer, then the benefits through this kind of process. What do I explain? So, the fertilizer business, government me pull on. Actually, may not to be minister, but now we been come for say. They say fertilizer have been the cocaine at the Ministry of Agriculture. Yeah. So we can say we advise government at the time say government maybe for pull on entirely but the process for the buy one, but let private sector they buy and what you need for do provide voucher to smaller farmer them e-voucher system so that then go to the private sector give them voucher we then get the fertilizer government pay the private sector provider. Now the system now the way they. Now that makes people they blame we don't can now. Now we don't that try they may be advised that they be nice. But now I then at the hot people and say we will not get fertilizer and then how we affect that and they you not get any under your control because government don't buy anymore. We don't pass down the over, right? Seed sector now the government they provide boku support. We don't bring through a various partner them plenty seeds, whether that rest, high yield, we don't set up a system where from breeder seed. Foundation seeds, certified seeds, so they ought to go to farmer then. We get full control to go through a research system. We get people that who don't train, who don't identify, say, now they handle the seed the way they go to the farmer then. And through that system they. And this year and last year we say self for rest. Anybody where they go supply seed to farmer then you for clean your seed and get certificate say this is not clean seed you they give. Where they increase we assurance say the seed where they go to the farmer, then they germinate. So support they not do, not the problem.
Yeah.
Up
Looking at the gap.
So let's tell you the gap with it. 500,000 in the survey, that same survey they measure, it says about 520,000 hectares of rice. How they do every year. What in government do? 20,000. So you tell me, chances they say 2 out of 10 people them, or 8 out of 10 people that we ask, they say they not get support directly from government. But that's the nature of it, because not all governments can do all 500,000 hectares, and because we want that private sector, let them come.
So the complaint sometimes from the farmers, them na that they need tractors, they need for till the lands, and so then they can pay, one pay, but it will take time before the
service provider
come, and
yes.
it affects production and then farms as well.
Well, I tell you now, say right now, me headache, I don't go around, I don't see na harvester then the same way. We not get so the rest they all they dry one thing. And we not get enough. We just not get enough. That's the problem. No, appreciate that force. We just not get enough. But I will come to the government part. What we don't do for let we get enough. Now we set up a credit facility. We say 10 million. Any private sector person, take a credit, buy machine, buy tractors, buy harvesters, go. And people they don't take them. Young man and they na Port Loco, na Bombali, buy 15 tractor, buy harvester, then buy drad, and they service them community. Because we know say maybe no say government not going to do that all at once. To say okay, if money they low set them, ask encourage. And by the way, we were very clear say that day now one of the things they will support, not to all they support, but make and clear say mechanization and the area that day. So yes, enough. Government don't buy some it in the system, but we don't set up credit facility. But we encourage private sector. What you can, you don't need for the part of government program. If you can't tell me say I get 5 tractors on my village and my town. Next year, we want to do service provider on I don't do that. Kono, new person, Bombali, Port Loco, we're not part of it. And we encourage people then they go in and buy 1-2 tractors with the give and say can plow 100 hectares now for the people them. Now then they will need for make sure so we fill that gap. But the point is just not enough. If you do 500,000 hectares and government only able to do 20,000, enough.
So mechanization are the opportunities within the sector.
Yes.
Where people can maybe not the diaspora even salon can able tap into and invest in and support the feed salon project.
Absolutely. I think that one big area Nandi, I say so I've been go talk to the diaspora community, mechanization and one but processing. There's so much.
Yeah.
You believe say all the chips the way they eat or French fries and they import and Canada. That's just shocking. Where if you able grow your own potato, you go able to make it very easy for make French fries. The only they use them use a fresh one. We buy the potato, we cut them, we make the French fries correct. It's no reason where the one way they don't buy, freeze, shipper, can do them. So I tell them say processing. I just take that as an example. Now a big win for diaspora in this country because first of all, now you get early mover advantage. Not to plenty people that they process plenty in there and do them fine and package them. You know, we don't spend some time at the diaspora can enjoy them fine thing and we know say now a small effort no more. So you can't package them fine.
But access is important because if the farm products are still stuck outside and they produce them and they will come. If you can't invest in processing safe, then there's a challenge where you get the access to them and able to process them products there.
No, it is true, but we don't make Baku progress now because President not ask them for going to this. People then they plant, waiting themselves. Now then challenge now truly that would they pull them from the hand bulk. I don't see so I don't do in this space now maybe 4 years 5 years ago now. Right, 2 as minister, 3 will be the advice. I don't see farmer the way they start really well. But then 1 year they entire again, the second year they entire because indeed they don't plant boku, but they want somebody just can pull under the hand for taker in all day. On the other hand, people they don't come to and say want to set up rice mill, this then they grumble say, oh no, the party in all day, so we're not going to set up this big and small scale. But me if you say we go able to make that match day. We go able to be very intentional. If you say you can't do it, set up a mill for, say, cassava for processor, rice, onions, you name it. We go able to organize farmer them, give them that incentive for grow, and match them with you. Now that's not the role of government.
But you need good roads. We just show Falabajiso, with Bridgeway no day for go distribute healthcare drug safe na problem. You need good roads, you need storage facilities, and as well, Usai myself if I spend if I want farmer linkages, how do I link if I want to buy the product for processing? How do I link with the farmers? Where not going to be too much of a burden on me.
No, so this absolutely correct. Myself be the Falaba yesterday, I want to go Mongo today, advise me say we'll not get time, the road bad, we'll go to, you understand? So I understand, Andy. Like this I say, what we want to do, nothing where they take 5, 10, 20 years even, because all this what they talk. Imagine this, we need to make the roads there at the same time. We need to build the processing at the same time. We need to get a good system for give the seeds and fertilizer at the same time. But government and process where you not salon, where you don't they backward for a while, where you don't say you day for a while, you need to crawl back small. You put the thing in place. And I feel say waiting with they do them pieces then the strategy will set up, for example, for we say inside the strategy we don't identify certain hubs them. When a day we want for increase the intensity of government investment in infrastructure for rice, for cassava. Now small. But we're not getting money for do all things all at once together. As we do we create the incentive for private sector where we can't take the risk because yes, then truck then go they broke down, this and that. But if we the production based day, where it day, we go convince people then for set up the processing part of it. And then governments like government for make the road, provide the power, all of that in a process, and it take time. But now all and they will need for do all at once. And that make for we feed alone all of government business because we know the people that will rely on. We know say we need the road for we made. We know say we need the bridge for we made. And we don't invest plenty, by the way, in the internet and the all. 420 kilometers of feeder road. Now they construct between end of this year to next year. Where they make 4 bridges now key linkage communities for we. I can joke one time, or if we not get money, I say give we fertilizer or make road. I can say Lord, make the road. You understand? Because we understand the importance of that because they catalyze all of them. But what you point out now, the enormity of the challenge with it all at once, and we're not getting money, or in fact sometimes the capacity for do all at once. So they take the pieces one by one for the one.
The issue of with what you talk, feeds alone cuts across creating jobs, infrastructure. You need energy as well, you go say. You need energy for...
You definitely need energy.
You definitely need energy. So what's in at the level of interministerial or agencies collaboration? Usai, you go see, say, the ministry, now they lead this process, but some of them project the way the other ministries or agencies and they go pass through the ministry and they coordinate for ensure say they create impact, na society.
The Feed Salon program, now the president in flagship, the president, they chair the presidential council for the delivery of feed salon. They meet on a quarterly basis. In between, with a brief farm, and then there's a technical group where they meet. The level of interministerial coordination where they high past any other area. I mean, at the person, at the minister, where they work, when key ministries or people that were involved, whether na energy, roads, would they work with them, trade, and environment, where they sit down, then trade of them. Where they make budgets. By the way, the national budget, if you watch the ministries, then budget today. Budget they don't have feeds alone. 690 billion. Million old leons, new leons. Where they pull all the ministry then work, put them together for say, there we hope they all don't create. If you say they make road, that road they now inside they pass. You say they make energy. So the chairman for energy, kind of Yunkela. All the time, with they share notes to the exchange, okay, we they set up this now, we get this mini grid now, what's the capacity we need, logo do this study now, sandy roads, works, SLRA. Every time, then they ask, who's on a need road, who's side this day, so where then they send any road where they come, and this now the president self the informant, they ask, who's side the agricultural hub, then they, USA want for make road. So the main investments in infrastructure, they focus on we hub them and we they coordinate them for make sure. So this now a truly highly collaborative program when all of government business where they make for me I work with all man we involved. I need for work with all man. The other person we are very close Ministry of Finance, the bank governor, all NTI what they do need finance, need them policy there, Ministry of Trade, really important for support with local farmer them.
The area of production as well, how do we diversify? You know, when we talk about feed salon mostly, we don't talk a lot about rice production. And the other day, maybe somebody they talk. Over the weekend, me and somebody they talk about flour. How we still the imports, you know, flour, even though we get the flour mills and all, and the other how they come up. But how do we try to say, can we use cassava? Can we use other things and see if we can get flour from them? How do we diversify, even what you they eat and how we they eat? Not too dependent on rice. You can try potato as well and use them other way.
Yeah, this is not true word. You know, well, I just tell one story. I go while communist country move for go study in America. I get one host family. I begin tell me how people need to adapt to society when they kind of new place. The first they try for talk like how people in the talk. Then you want for dress like how then they dress. Then they say, but the last way they ever change. Now wait till they eat. If one for chemical in a restaurant, he say wait till they eat hats. So salon people them, you know, I don't know. For me, I find out say we they diversify how they can they, but rest now will remain staple. It really hard for like can tell people they let them change that day. So me that fet day, we go for fet time. But I want what to do produce enough rest for so you if not that you want to eat, you go meet them. But you're right. If we able to convince people them for eat less rest for say cassava. Cassava now is second staple. So inside they plenty. And we get programs for that. In fact, now we in the feed salon program, we priority crops in rice, cassava, onions, vegetables in general, livestock, poultry, then eggs and chicken, small ruminants. And then we get other F15 for orange flesh sweet potato for nutrition for children. We with a small package of grains and pulses where they for support nutrition. We prioritize, we're not going to do all things. But as ministry, what you can say you want to do, I don't know what you want to do, moringa or ginger or granite. We go provide the technical support to you, but we're not government not gonna get money for putting all through down there. But we as a ministry know say we need to diversify because for the income part of the strategy, you know, so in about hopefully before this year they done, we sign an agreement with Islamic Development Bank for $40 million cassava project. Then they now for industrialized cassava, not to for make fufu and gari no more, but to go and make flour and a big thing and they way so that they part of our strategy for reduce the importation of that. They will not touch down there because we know they make cassava flour yet.
But the opportunities
it did plenty. It did plenty. We don't identify hubs and where we are. We get for making a cassava processing hub and different hub then they produce different products them inside this project here. And so you know flour, you go produce ethanol or food fillers or cassava now one thing we get almost 1,000 products where they come up from and then they will want for tap into, right? But diversification now a key thing. With the support them. We prioritize crops them where we feel say they are the core of the economy. We import more rest past anything. So the goal now for make sure so we reduce down they get the benefits of that. We want for export cocoa and cashew. Because we get more forex that they help with currency and they allow we for get a good economy.
There are things we are exporting actually. I don't know if our attention will need to pay to them. Palm oil.
Oh yes.
A lot of Sierra Leoneans know now the diaspora we they into that business. You know, how do we capture that and add value and as well invest in that sector today?
So let's tell you something now. Let's tell you something now. They say private sector key. When I don't see that paddy oil or the other one, then palm oil and they take process and vegetable oil. So much so that today will be the import vegetable oil in this country now. We they export them. And you know, say government hand not you see how automatic what in government do? Now duty, now tax increase the incentive and make it difficult for them and then import, and then that creates the environment for the private sector jump in. So there are people then the way they sell palm wine, where they take and process and make vegetable oil, now because that environment, then they happen. Now, and I want to reach per most in there, where it happen
naturally,
naturally
because
people
of
they
private
know
sector
say, or
investment.
yeah, people they know say, boy, they happen. You go and store vegetable oil there because the investment they happen. Now, and that we need for reach, but most in them, they will know say yes, we don't arrive as well when we come to food system.
I read this survey report. It say the southern region leads in poultry rearing. People already tape and poultry business still get for import feed and all of that. You can talk about that, but how do we pay attention as a country? Say, okay, this partner the country, they do this. Let me invest in them and see how they go increase production and access to provide access to markets as well. If you go Falaba, Kabbalah also, they do vegetables, a lot of it as well. And how do we waiting at the ministry idea for focus on the regions and waiting and they produce and provide them with the required support?
No, that's a nice idea. This is what they call one product, one district idea. In fact, a colleague, trade and finance, bring a paper to cabinet for Lowy government push this. Now, fine idea. A fine idea because they allow you for concentrate in an intentional way for the linkages then they way to that value chain they for do them, right? Yeah. I believe in that we try for do in the feed salon strategy we self. We get hubs then for rest, we get hubs then for cassava, we get hubs then for cash crops. We're very intentional about the types of investments that we then go there. But I think kind of thing that we need. A particular district go say we now this one proud of. So this year October 31st we celebrate World Food Day. Also 9 we produce a report for mark the second year anniversary for Feed Salon. We get for give district them awards. And maybe in the year this we'll go try for institute down there. Wanna choose 1-2 products wanna proud of, wanna say now this they represent una. And maybe that could be the start of that day for beginning for encourage the districts them, the farmer that way then they for galvanize and say we, now this we know for Kono. They don't know that then they know themselves for diamond. Now the outside world number, but if you ask them, they'll tell you say then a livestock, then get boku livestock. See second or partner maybe Falaba or Kona do good no they challenge them. Plantain, plenty, right? So now fine idea and we push them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ask about people in poultry.
Yes.
The importation of feed, as well. Me get a close person with the into poultry business. I know the stress where they go to for get feed for able take care of in poultry as well. What in the ministry they do? So could we try and produce it here and see how we could test the soil and produce an aya?
Yeah, where I start me tour, now the western area I start. Good news is we get private sector people that we are poised, if you like, for bring plenty investment at the poultry sector. I go around and talk to some poultry farmers and big one them. So when they produce 10,000 eggs a day, 20,000 all anything a day. But yes, the main thing we didn't tell me that the feed when at 70% of the cost and 80% of that they are maize and they said in the import maize from Mali. Well, we don't get rid of it anyways, and we don't take steps. We launch a program this year. This is now $105 million livestock program. We supported by IFAD, Islamic Development Bank, and OPEC Fund. Inside there, we don't identify say feed. Now a major thing we need for address both in the production of it, and for make it available. And because we don't identify that, Andy, we get for the first thing at this country, the first large-scale commercial producer of poultry feed, Eastern farmers. They're able to do them because we set up a credit facility. We'll encourage them to apply for take. I don't know how much they take, but they take money. Up there, I want to max 1 million. So for that reason, for the first time at this country, we get somebody to produce poultry feed at a commercial scale. In one, not going to meet all the demand.
Yeah.
One poultry person, when I go talk to, we get for they produce 20,000, 30,000 eggs per day. One, they go to produce one, I think it's about 3,000 tons of feed. If you produce for in one 9 day per day, the other people then go suffer. So we they encourage more people than for come. But what we do as government, we don't talk say inside this project here where they come, where they invest in the production. The maize belts they Moyamba, Tonkolili, Pato Put Loco, Yanda. We say
The
up to
research they should say we're able to produce.
Of course. Mr. Sena maize are planned this year.
Okay.
Yes. Now that if you just they go just before you reach Tayama, on the right side if you come off it on 60 hectare maize, they do very, very well. Yes.
I don't go to a big farm at that place. The Minister of Environment in farm at one term.
Instead they do some vegetables and some rest. But now maize I do this year. But maize we able to do now. We say 5,000 hectares. We want to let people them inside the program every year for see if we're able to support. If we do that, they will make the maize available. We will cut the cost because it really not too good if not Mali. Then they pull the feed, right?
Yeah.
And so this one person what they talk to, they're not ready for unveiling self. But then self therefore bring about 30,000 birds. Now Netherlands and therefore bring the whole feed, the complete feed. 2 containers they don't ship by and they bring and come. Now I talk to him, I say, look, part of the goal now, it's fine for like producer now, but if you can't produce and just know the price can high past the one where they can't import, people then go still complain and the importers then go beat you, then go put you out of business. I say, so let we work together. We go support for make farmer and grow this maize. We maybe get 1 or 2 more people that will produce feed for you. Because if you buy feed now, it will be cheaper. But that's a challenge. And we work on them.
We're seeing the incentive as well in that sector. They say we still import chicken, by the way.
Yeah, of course. We import
plenty chicken, and we get them poultry. We get the birds and someone go tell you say the problem is the machine infrastructure for process and put on at the market, and as well with the import egg, plenty. What's the incentive, for say with rice there is an increase in import duty, as well for able give incentive to people and for produce more. What's the incentive in the poultry sector?
So I'm more bullish about poultry and onions than even rice. Because we will actually reduce that importation there because the momentum we there. We don't do a nationwide survey of all the poultry farmer them. We get them phone number then, at least the big one there. Where we will categorize it. One we get less than 500 birds, one we get between 500 to 1,000, one we get 1,000 to 2,000 above and 5,000 birds across this country. And every day, people that they can't talk to me say, will they start poultry farm? And not too small or big. I tell you about the one I just come out to, we say 20,000, then plan 100,000. The other one, people then say, me get 18,000. Now me they plan 40,000. Then they show me and they construct. So me worry, not to worry, me excitement and okay, when I don't make all this investment, we need to take a step back now and say, how we go able to set up the environment for now, both the policy space and the feed and all the technical know-how way. And by the way, now the sector down the way, then they really help themselves. The poultry sector, they get a strong association where then they teach themselves, then there's a big lobby. Right? So which is really, really, really positive. And we pass that policy back for let government buy eggs and feed picking at the schools with a pilot them, right? But for by the time right now we produce maybe close to 45 to 50% of the eggs need their work. By the time we pass that 50% threshold, me go cargo policy now cabinet will protect we poultry farmer there, encourage them. We need to do that.
Why can't we do that now and see how we get more investment in the sector?
It's a balancing act. It's a balancing act. I don't know. Believe me, I know the implication where they bring in there solely as a minister of agriculture. I know the implication for where they import it in. Now the other farmer there with the support now the other country. Now the other farmer there people that would give job now the other country, right? But as a leader in this space, as a public person, as somebody who get a holistic view of what's going to happen. By the time you do that, if we're not able to meet the demand and produce enough so that the price can down, you go make people then suffer. Now the issue down there will go with rest small. Rest within at that level, the way the productivity they come up by too slow. And people then want cheap rest, no matter how you put out. Yeah, I mean, you know, more go say it. In fact, that we rest healthy for we this. But however you put on the one that and cheap rest. So we they work very hard. It makes it a steep hill for we. If imported rice price they can know, it's a steep hill for we for produce we don't rest low match up. But we need that and buy rather than not care. Side and just want for make sure see them bear food and the small
Yeah,
little
the
and
food
nasty
day.
don't make. So now a balancing act. And the same thing back with the egg. So we get for see as we ramp at that level, you know, see if we put down the the production will come up so that we will get enough supply so that the demand will make sure say demand and supply will make sure say the price go down and then people not go complain say when I don't block this then the price don't come up or you know they so now the balancing act and the but are very poised for do that we need for do that people then they make plenty investment for the sector and at that with government that's the catalytic thing where government go able to do we actually cheap in some way and easy we know the common a very cheap way government go able to do from a policy front we go able to boost this thing so but we need to go reach at a certain point before we able to do that
There is this incentive as well about bringing in agriculture products. People the way they, you know, we don't talk about the opportunities in the sector, but somebody go say, okay, if I'm importing this equipment and they import feed and all, are there incentive, you know, where they think about, say, maybe we give them tax breaks or waivers in certain areas just so that, you know, people not go feel too much when they import, bring their equipment or even things them for their farms.
We get a planned meeting where before this year's finance, before Minister of Finance, they read the new Finance Act, they meet with the private sector then at the agriculture space, big or small, for then they can tell me then tax areas. And with the catalog and find one, we'll go give Ministry of Finance, we'll put the value upon and say, Ministry of Finance, this na money, we know see na money, if you get time, it will come to you. But for collecting back na problem for you. So give them people this tax break, then go now. So it's a then the people then get for telling which one get for invest in the sector and which na the tax break we need. So we get a meeting there before the new Finance Act come for get that exactly the kind of thing the way they talk. They need that and part of the reason why make the rest, for example, what they produce expensive now because the cost of production expensive.
Yeah.
Now, whether the inputs there or the energy cost or the infrastructure, all anything the way they come in or fertilizer, where people then say expensive now pass Guinea or the pesticides the way you know people then they tell me all that kinds of things. But governments go able create the environment and the space for reduce costs per some of them cost here, and then go encourage more private sector for jumping and boost them productivity. That way they will able to be competitive or the produce we look at produce them.
I want to ask you about the Tumabom project.
Sure.
You know, it's now one of when you talk about feed salon. I want you a lot of people and they ask question about who shall we deal with this Tumabom project. What's the status of it? It's the project done be completed, implemented, it into use. How will they support feed salon?
I been saying, you know, they ask me. I mean, no say all time while they go down reading, they ask me whatever. But I been saying they ask me. All right, so I'll take the opportunity. I don't decide to. I'll take the opportunity for take patient with me and people there. Just take a step back. You understand? For just walk people through this. I know. I'm sure this not ever get for close the chapter, but
Yeah.
I did try. The Tumabom project, now the Regional Rice Value Chain project, we funded by Islamic Development Bank and Badia. The total cost of the project now $35 million. The project now been for 2 locations, both Tumabom and Cambia. The project for do irrigation, if for build a rice mill, and then if for teach people them how for produce rice and set up cooperatives, all of that. Now then 2 location there. Yeah. Now, Tumabom, now a place we get well over close to 50,000 hectares of contiguous land, bully land for cultivation. The idea na been this na small money for even just Tumabom. These are 35 million. No, I get boku components. So irrigation have been one, but the idea, and luckily actually, me not to be minister when we start this, but I've been did it. I know the lock part, so I understand the rationale very well. The idea have been we dey set up a pilot where we will come do 2,000 hectare irrigation now. Yeah? Government use Dande as equity for encourage private sector for canal. Say we don't make 2,000 hectare irrigation area for you. We don't set up a mill. So until you go build on them. We don't train people then get the know-how for produce rest. You can now and take them and run with them. Now, be the idea done, and I still the idea done, and a fine idea, and I done with the work on. Now, we the project now been 2021 or so, or 2020, they sign them.
Yeah.
$35 million, they tell you. These are some of the challenges with development, where if you not get your money as a country, where they rely on a big project, you say you won't get money. Now the challenges in this. Till now, we not able get 45% disbursement of that money there. All side. And the side that we don't get disbursement. And I want to let people understand this. You understand, eh? This not now it get work na Cambia, it get na Tumabom as well. The thing that we got disbursement for set up the mill, we don't do them. Now the two side them. For set up the for train people then for produce. We don't produce rest yonder plenty, right? And so where we can develop them project here, then we do big construction, all and it get for take time. And if the work not they progress accordingly, and if you get donor we not responsive, you get forgetting the problem where you get a program where the whole country say, now we have open, and then you get a scenario where Tina will not even get 45% disbursement.
But is it about William Pat back, the implementation of the project, accountability with the donor partners as well? Because I can recall there was a time where the old Tumabom project was under Anti-Corruption Commission, and they look at allegations of corruption and all of that.
So what's happened? There are many parts to this. Where we signed that project, with President or Commissioner Abidede. Big fanfare, the idea was right, and the idea is still right. And we see everybody would make progress that they can't talk about, which we don't do. I just want to explain. We don't make plenty progress that they can't talk about that, but just want to lay on for people them. 2020, I think then COVID came. Where COVID came, the initial design will then be made for the program for the irrigation, where the engineer then can work and say no, this not good for work, we need for modify. That then they take time. This is not just the mechanics of and where I know some people are not interested in, but I just I'll put them out there anyways because now that me know and that I don't see at the fall. I don't go to Tumabom last year. I go to 510. This year I go to 510. I go to again November and December for watch the progress. I go to at the see, but I know say then change the design. The one of the donors then say no, they're not agree not to for the design for B, if for B, so if for B that way they will go back and forth. Say finally I come as minister. When we don't come as minister, now we agree now saying that this design will they go with, and then we begin for make the progress, and we don't make plenty progress. Now 2,000 hectare irrigation, well, we don't go there. They don't build the pump house. They depend on a big irrigation program. They don't do more than for the 1,000 the canals, and they don't do on them. And then a place with very difficult back. Rain they can, they heavy the place. If you go to Tumabom right now, they say flood they are they try for go to this are they next week are they in the area? So they are go reach there. But what are they? Right? So for construction they're very challenging. But we don't make plenty progress, even as we speak. For the past 3 years, where they cultivate at that place they through the project. No less than 1,000 hectares of rice. And this idea, where we say, with a pilot and bring a private sector, at the unveil this and say they're not going to allow do that. We get a big, serious private sector. We did it now. We poised.
Not Tumabom.
Where they produce rest, highly mechanized. We go for package and fine. By January, we will see this by God power. They don't produce rest. It's beautiful. Then get forget maybe 5 tons per hectare. Now drone then they use for apply fertilizer in a small pilot to them on 600 hectares for them pilots. Near also how they do the irrigation. So then because we don't make this move, then they say yes, when this year succeed and poised for can't take them up.
What's the timeline of the Tumabom project?
The timeline, the project they end supposed to end December 2026. Me believe say this year with this dry season they can between November now, December, January, February, March, we'll get 1,000 hectares of irrigation done.
So you believe
Yes.
say in January will begin?
1,000 of that irrigation day go done. But even before that irrigation they don't know how they tell you so. We get forget rest from Tumabom because we don't set up this
When
mechanism.
will they begin eating rest from
January, February, we they mill that rest day. Private sector person, we don't candy. When I go see them, I don't want for unveil and secret. They not tell me for talk.
Okay.
But then serious, then very serious. I don't go see. I don't see them. Then bring expert them from Egypt. Then rice variety. Then good. Then they show me picture them every day. Why I go for go Tumabom, I go show to people then let them see. But then they get for commodity, even with or without irrigation, how they tell you so. But the irrigation construction, me believe say 1,000. Now the commitment down the way, the contractor don't give me, and then they will the whole and so.
And then they will be completed by January.
No. By the next dry season, where the opportunity there for plant rest.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, I want to ask you about fertilizer.
Yes.
There was a consignment of fertilizer will be received, right?
Long time ago.
And there were some controversies around in distribution. I remember there was this report about either you or some people from the ministry went to the warehouse in Eastern and began to stop the distribution and all of that. How is that process? And we don't distribute all the fertilizers?
Yeah, in 2021, 22, government received, I think, 50 metric tons of fertilizer from OCP, DAP. We distribute in 2 tranches. When we come, before I come as minister, the first tranche that we don't distribute, some of them we didn't store them. When we come, yes, I try for put an orderly process for let we distribute them. We do it in 2 seasons. If we don't done this season, that the last season and the last bit then go. We organize the farmer federation and the district people them for let them identify farmer them and let them farmer the NSSF can collect them go. We not give the normal channel will say, oh, let we district agriculture officer then can take let or other people will say the farmer the NSSF now that they can take them from the warehouse and go. So then they be don't go with that donation they will then be give they don't take and don't go.
Okay. Quickly, as we try for wrap up, I want to ask this question from the performance audit report, the 2025 February performance audit report. I read a section from them. They say the maps does not have holistic data on all agricultural produce, which makes it difficult for the team to assess food sufficiency for the period reviewed. From a review of the production and yield studies data provided by MAFS, we noted that the country was unable to produce enough food to achieve the 90% food sufficiency by 2020, despite the efforts made by government and partners. The other parts are that the findings reveal non-functioning of the Presidential Task Force on Agriculture and ACT team, low commitment on the part of governments, as MAFS is still receiving less than 10% of the annual budget, which had a negative effect on the implementation of activities as agriculture is time-bound. We'll start to ask you about the question about government indirect investment into the sector. And you still receive less than 10% of budgetary allocation?
I tell you, I say the president. By the way, all of this is before feeds alone. All this audit report is looking. It's looking back. Yeah, it's looking back.
Yeah.
And at 2023 come up, but it's looking back.
Yeah.
Right. Government moved with budget from 2.3 to close to 8%, which in the grand scheme of things is progress. But who country they were not, then still they 4%, 5%. So we don't move. That's number one. On data very important for me. My biggest joke I get with the director of PEMSD and I mean the director of PEMSD. I've been acting because I see that and they say very important. This year when I see we'll produce in sometime in June or early May, late May, we annual agricultural survey, production and yield survey. I don't tell them say we make them say we data where they come off from we therefore be gold standard. We put them out March 15 every year. Or they collect, do surveys across the country. Would they involve statistics, donor partners, everybody, for make sure say data will come up from credible, maybe credible even past FAO stats, because now from within they collect the data, right? Then I'm challenged. March 15 with the whole press conference, not so big deal. We don't make big deal. Just make whole press conference. We don't collect data. But the key thing the way we say we want for understand that this country production, and with the GIDA data to the people them. So data for me very, very important. And not to talk no more, I don't make boku moves for make sure say the money even outside government e dey. So the money right now for start for begin for survey for the other one that we don't secure them, we dey get technical expertise from the agricultural transformation office where we get for where I go look for money from Gates Foundation for letting can help in one area that they where they work very hard with statistics Sierra Leone, with FAO, with World Bank and the technical people them development for make sure say we get a credible data. If we not get data, we're not going to tell the story.
Yeah.
The one we'll put out this year been get some of the value chain that we'll care about, but you not been get all. I tell them say that's unacceptable. We need to get all, and then you need to be more robust. We get very heated conversation around them with all the stakeholder them, but it is the best that we have right now. Let me say, get errors, but it is the best that we have right now, and we try to build on it and make them better.
How about the money, budgetary allocation? What, how much you don't get all your money this?
No, we not get all it. I think right now in terms of execution, we're at about maybe 55%. I say more than previous years. This year we get money from finance for the team. What we say very very important to we.
Okay.
And we get other things and still the year not done it. We don't request for able for access money for do the important thing and way we say we want for do.
But you don't get more than 10% of your budgetary allocation.
More than 10% of my budgetary allocation? Yes, certainly. More than 10% of my allocation? Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Now the execution rates. I think it's maybe 45% or so.
Okay.
We don't get that.
That's
yes.
impressive.
Yes.
That's impressive. You get good relationship with the Minister of Finance.
Well, this is the pie and flagship.
Okay.
What the pie saying that the flagship program is the minister know. And yes, I get good relationship with the Minister of Finance. And I understand say what you would do na the sector, they boost the economy, it good for imports. When they talk say inflation don't go down, food inflation don't go down.
Yeah.
The first side with the sites na agriculture.
Yeah.
So you know that and
Yeah.
So now I make it a support we.
So what are you hope for this sector, for feed salon, as Minister of Agriculture? Waiting I hope.
Well, my biggest hope na this. Thing then the way government go do, and we go do, and then policy thing then they. I don't name them. We need to make sure say provide good insurance for farmer them, for encourage them. Financing, we go able to go up and down for make sure say not to the big people the number but the small one and medium one a day, right? And infrastructure, then road them, they storage them. I want to do that, but then I want to get very intentional, proactive policies. We go invite private sector for come. Right now, we celebrate. We say paddy oil, we the export oil now because governments do that, yeah, bas. Now because private sector come, right? Paddy oil, private sector come. Yeah, bas, private sector come. Imagine if we get for cassava, we can make flour for rest. And then we own job now also now for train we own farmer them for link them with them big private sector yeah. Now down there we get for make way we will go sleep. No say government they do routine thing them private sector we want make money. Then they invest for produce the rest, for produce the yabas, for produce the eggs, the chicken, and by the way, they attract plenty. So for me, I may hope that we put the thing that we need for do, we attract good, solid private sector people them. Now the quickest and sustainable way down there, where we go know. What we get for do now for regulate them, make sure say they not charge too much, make sure say they use the environment well, and then people that really suffer with on the margins, and the governments get for help them. I believe say we able to do that and we well on the way for do that. But for do that, we need to be serious with the thing that we also do. We collect the data, we track them and push them out. If we do that, we'll go feed salon.
Waiting for be the hope of Sierra Leoneans with the feed salon program where you the lead.
Well, the hope is for realize. Then hear what I don't talk about. But not only for hope, then say for act. Then say for act. You know, where I did Tenkolili, I passed na me district agriculture office. They make some fine, then plant potato, onion, tomatoes, garden eggs. It's like back there. And they say they make plenty money. Where I did Kabbalah, one man, Mr. Mara, can we go big carrot farm where he say, it get for produce up to 200 bags and they sell the carrots 2 million. Imagine this now, just regular man. It get for us, if you do that, they sell land. If all man do that, if half of we do that, if more than half of we do that, we go feed alone. We go create that kind momentum where somebody come, the chop day, where processor come in one setup, it go get the raw product, the raw material for run a mill. Yes, a very capital intensive, we can set up a whole processing. But if somebody they produce, if we all jump so they produce, that person go easy for do. So let we hope, but let we also act. But for me hope truly is we go there and salon people them for hope and no say by the time this year done, this not a long journey. But I want for let we now a place where the changes that they put in place is almost irreversible. So that we'll just stay on a pace for no matter what we must succeed. And now they get for start with themselves. And we do your own parts for them policy and begin for show. Then they all do project, then a small pilots for show within the work. Right? But really enough a low day on that part they say, yeah, we're irreversible and we must succeed. I like it take we another 5-10 years. But we on the part for say we must succeed.
Finally, the WFP Country Beef Report June 2025 say 77% of Sierra Leoneans food insecure. But that number they decrease from 80% in 2023. Though you hopeful and you believe say the shortest possible time we go reduce drastically that number they enable feed reserve and make the population of this country food secure. We all believe say we go feed reserve and go to bed eating Sierra Leonean produced food.
I'm very hopeful. I think I'm glad the way you point out the number they on the downward trend now. My goal now, my hope now, that downward trend they continue. And we're very intentional about that with engagement with the BFP, with the partner them for organized smallholder farmers. The key parameter, by the way, we go into that the affordability of the food, not to availability, not affordability. Now the key parameter where they push most of them people in that food insecure bracket, and then the severe food insecure back condom by that same number there. I believe say the next report when they come back, we will continue to see that downward trend there. Now because we don't set a lot of them in motion, like I don't say, we need to do plenty things all at once, but we don't set them all in motion. Where if we add up, we go begin for see that number really condom. The goal really now we don't want for see people then go to bed hungry because chop no day. We want to make the chop available, and today right now in our salon chop available. Don't say you know go able to buy or you know get the money because a combination whether it work, waiting and they pay you, but the day a big deal for we, and we don't begin put the price down for make sure say you go able to buy them.
Okay.
Not only at the big tournament but at the village them back.
What is a message to the farmer them? We go to listen to you with the radio at the farm this morning. Waiting are your message to them?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you plenty thank you for the exchange. I look forward for the time where they come back. I want to tell the farmer and say October 31 with the Cambia, the president they go celebrate World Food Day. When at the day the whole world they celebrate now October 16, but we move them. But for we commemorate the second year anniversary of Feed Salon. We don't do plenty thing them with them support. Then we don't answer the president in call. And I want to let them come can showcase. This year we get for put tell and say every district we want to let them compete like I don't say no more. We not a product we're proud of can show, right? And they don't try. And we need for continue for try. Farming, if you do on 1 year, the next year you not do one. All end gains them all don't make. The next year if you stop no more, we stop. Especially since we not get reserve there. And now we talk about reserve. So I encourage them for the continue. For move, not easy. The waiting we able to do, we do them, but we're not able to do this without them, and we celebrate them and tell them plenty thank you. And come October 31, low can celebrate. Feed Salon on the move, we succeed, we see results them. Brilliant individuals across the country, they work very hard for make this happen, and we say go hold your own bargain and make sure say we support them for let this happen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Musa, Kpaka, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security. That shall we say they go continue for do the work for go to bed hungry, able feed we safe. But yeah, I agree. We all get a role for play, and I'm sure when I get a data we go show say a lot of people they get into the sector. There is this number of people the way they go into farming, mostly women, right?
Now, the biggest success down there of the feed salon, by the way, one of the biggest, with the number of people that way they go into farming, young people there. I get people that way they come on, where they graduate with computer engineering. Then are the biggest maize farmer there or agronomists there, because they just want to do this, right? Across the board, young people there. When they see themselves as engineers, innovators, they are better. They be able to articulate more why than they do this past me, right? Some young man in a corner, when they talk about the rest where they don't grow, when they talk about how much money don't touch all man as a result of what they don't do, all over the country. So for we now for try for egg them along and make sure say they dream even bigger, right? For succeed. So indeed, yes.
And I see the former youth minister now one person big in fish farming. I see a lot of people going into that as well. And I get special support for that sector there as well.
Yes, we get some program them where with the support in that area in collaboration with the Ministry of Fisheries. But yes, Oman Bangura na one of the biggest fish farmers that we sabi, and also the technique and the passion where you get for them and for bring young people there. All day, if you watching phone, as you ask anything about fish, they pull out to tell you. I know me not going to farm it properly on this method where they go and they make sure I try for stop there and see them. But really, plenty of people don't answer the president's call, especially young people there, and that the biggest hope and light where they for this.
Hopefully we will continue with that hope and lights there and feed we serve, because it's very important. Everybody, every sign at the world now, everybody they look inwardly. How do we provide for we serve? I know they give money, then they keep the money now, and everybody become selfish, and it's just natural. Everybody want to take care of young people, them young citizens, them, with all waiting they go around the world. So I think if we could feed ourselves and reduce importation of things that we're able to produce now, it makes sense, and we all get for go into family. We will not get land at this. Me na kisia come, I not get land for family, but I go adopt. I go find a village. You say I go adopt and get.
No, you go do village, but you go. I go show you a picture of this farm. What I tell you, 10 rest back there.
Yeah.
10, 20 rest back there. You go able to plant tomato there.
Yeah.
Potato there.
Yeah.
Eggplant, pepper.
Yeah.
Seriously, 10 rest back. All you need. You go able to do that. I will send you the experts who can help you.
Yeah, we'll go
just
on
the fence.
Yeah.
Just 10 rest back there.
Yeah.
You go able to do that. Anybody in this town free time here, so.
Okay, definitely. We'll go with your small garden,
yes.
But thank you so much, Mr. Minister, for your time, and thanks. Hopefully, we'll continue this conversation. Yeah. Let the people understand what they do, the challenges, the achievements, and the opportunities as well. Because now, until people know and understand, then they go be informed and not say yes. The minister not just move around, but there is some progress with Feed Salon.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. They can close the devotion this morning. Continue to stay with you. We'll come back shortly.